For the 11th straight season, the rival high schools of Bethel, Brookfield, and Danbury High Schools combine to form one singular hockey team. They are known as BBD, the Ice Cats. And the season begins tonight with a preseason Jamboree event here at the Linen Rink on the campus of the Gunnery, a private school in Washington, Connecticut. And we welcome you inside for the start of the BBD Ice Cats 2018-2019 season. The Ice Cats will be playing one period against each of three other teams here in this preseason event. They begin tonight with the home team, the Shepaug Valley Spartans. And we're so glad that you're with us here. As the season begins, we'll be introducing you to the players and the storylines to focus on here with the BBD Ice Cats. The number one storyline to focus on is youth. The Ice Cats lost quite a few seniors, including their leading scorer, Tommy Delafield. He of 18 goals. And they lost their number one goaltender in Stephen Fanning. There are 12 sophomores on this team. That's really the big story here, is that BBD is a very young and developing team. And they will be taking on the Shepaug Valley Spartans, who unfortunately are wearing their practice jerseys tonight, so we won't be able to identify their players by their uniform numbers. An interesting and kind of heartwarming story for Shepaug. They carried a 59-game losing streak into the season finale last year, when in the final moment of the final game, Shepaug beat Joel Barlow 4-3 in overtime to break that streak. The reason I bring it up is because you just don't want to be that team that breaks the streak, and so BBD won't have to worry about that dynamic when these two teams play back here at the Gunnery in January. The starting goaltender for the Ice Cats will be Alex Fernandez, the senior, one of four captains on this team. He'll be backed up by Maverick Foster, wearing number 34. Alex Fernandez was one of four goaltenders on this BBD team last year. Stephen Fanning, as we mentioned, was the starter, and he graduated. And the two others, Joe Stefanelli and Colin Coe, have left to play travel hockey elsewhere. And so Alex Fernandez was basically the last man standing. And for all intents and purposes, this will be his team going forward, as Maverick Carter just doesn't have quite the experience yet to be a number one goaltender. He has the size, but not the experience. The team, the BBD Ice Cats, for the 16th time, is coached by Rusty Graniker, whom you see in the middle. He is assisted by Andy Kerjack, Rob Campbell, and Nick Castellano. BBD last year made it to the Southern Conference Championship game, pulling an upset on Lyman Hall 4-3 in a shootout, and then losing to Sheehan 6-2 in the conference final. And the season ended with a first-round state tournament playoff loss to WMRP 7-2, ending their season at 8-14-1. So a very young BBD team begins play here tonight with 12 sophomores and just 5 seniors, I believe, and not even that many juniors. And we have no idea what Rusty Graniker is going to do to start with line combinations. Your guess is as good as mine. We're all going to learn it together as we go along here. BBD begins the season on Saturday night, a week from tonight, down in Elmsford, taking on the Mount Pleasant Cottage Union Ice Cats, a battle of the Ice Cats. But 10 of BBD's first 13 games will be at home. So a chance to fatten up for the Ice Cats through the month of December and into January. But tonight here at the Linen Rink at the Gunnery, and then next Saturday down at Elmsford, before they begin the home schedule on Wednesday the 19th against the Amity Spartans at the Danbury Ice Arena. A short but intense season here of high school hockey, and we're real excited to get it underway, and we're glad you could be with us from the Linen Rink, one of the notoriously coldest rinks in the state, and it is sure living up to that tonight. It cannot be more than 20 degrees in here. 25 degrees ambient temperature outside. Shepaug, a very thin team. They don't have a very deep bench, and that was part of the storyline. They were always up against it. Even though they are a 4-team co-op, it's Shepaug, Litchfield, Thomaston, and Nonawag high schools, and yet they still have a pretty low enrollment, and they were battling that, among other things, all throughout the year. But they do have one of the state's best goaltenders in Alex Thornburg, a junior, who had 5 40-save efforts last year. The Ice Cats will start with senior co-captain Anton Oleshko up front at the center position, with Tom Conlon on the right and Tyler Caldara on the left. It will be Christian Gardecki. No, that is Jake Matson starting alongside sophomore Brian Merrill in front of Alex Fernandez. And we're underway with Caldara rushing his way into the offensive zone. The puck is loose, and I don't think it ever crossed the line, and we get a whistle here. There may be a penalty call. I'm not sure how the referee is going to call penalties. Well, the net came off, but I don't know how ref is going to call penalties on Shepaug when there are no numbers to call. The face-off will be in the Shepaug zone. So senior co-captain Jake Matson and sophomore Brian Merrill the defense. As Anton Oleshko takes the draw for BBD, it ends up on Merrill's stick, tried to hit Conlon, and that puck was cleared out by Shepaug. Shepaug finishing 1-19 last season. They did not qualify for the state tournament. Puck through to center point, held in by Shepaug. We can't tell you who their players are because they're not wearing their game jerseys tonight. Brian Merrill goes back for it. A wrap around in front. Fernandez closed the door. And it ends up on Tyler Caldara's stick. And here comes the junior into the offensive zone. Puck ends up on the wall in front of the Shepaug bench. Thomas Conlon goes back for it. And Shepaug is able to race out with it. 1 against 2 is it. Aiden Garvey checks in. He's playing defense and follows the puck to the end boards. One of the 12 sophomores on this team is Aiden Garvey. Here's a shot by Shepaug that's knocked down in front by Matson. Conlon couldn't come away with the puck. Shepaug holds the line. Anthony Britton just checked in, one of the other 12 sophomores on this team. Played for this team as a freshman last year. Held in by Shepaug. Now it's Aiden Garvey. Tom Conlon tries to get it out of the zone, sneaks it past one man, and now it's Britton. Got caught up with Conlon along the wall, and Britton will play it down as Conlon goes off on a change. Spencer Abrams goes down for it. He just checked in. Bryce Wallace looking to pick it up at the right point. Keeps it in the zone. Left side to Alex Smith. He fanned on the shot. It ends up on Thornburg's doorstep, and Thornburg races out to cover it but can't hold it. Spencer Abrams has it. Looking to make his way out of the corner. Gets taken down. Coming over for it is Kyle Bowler, and he passed the center point, snuck out of the zone, and Alex Smith goes back. So a whole bunch of sophomores on. Bryce Wallace and Alex Smith, along with Kyle Bowler, Spencer Abrams, and Anthony Britton. 5 sophomores out there with senior Alex Fernandez in goal. Shepaug holding it in on the left side as Alex Smith goes back to play it. 2.5 minutes into this first period here at this Jamboree preseason event. The second period, BBD will play the New Milford Green Wave, and then the Housatonic Mountaineers in the third. BBD dumps it down. They'll go off on a change as another sophomore, Eric Fancher, comes in and picks it up in the left wing corner. Fancher, who played for a powerhouse Wonderland Wizards team. Now Alex Smith to Patrick Fancher, his senior older brother. And Shepaug intercepts. They come out of the zone with it into BBD territory, and it's knocked away by Jack Kratacci, one of the 12 sophomores who played on this team as a freshman last year. Here's a shot left side by Eric Fancher that's held by Alex Thornburg. So Eric Fancher comes in with a big reputation, having been dominant with the Wonderland Wizards in his youth days. Now finally joining his brother Patrick, and they are on the ice together as a forward line centered by senior co-captain Tommy Schieser. Colin McGraw and Jack Rattacci will play defense behind them, and Schieser takes the draw and loses it to Shepaug, who are able to clear the zone. Tommy Schieser, you may remember in the shootout victory over Lyman Hall in the conference semifinal, scored when BBD needed a goal to keep the shootout going, and then it was senior Jacob Hopcroft who won it for BBD in the shootout. Here's Patrick Fancher in the corner for BBD. Tommy Schieser cycled it beyond the reach of Patrick Fancher, and Shepaug will play it to the other side, but Eric Fancher is there. Tried to play it back to Colin McGraw, wearing number 55, one of these sophomores, through the goal mouth that ends up on Schieser's stick in the left wing corner. We've played 4 minutes so far here in the opening preseason period. Eric Fancher has it in the corner with cycling with his brother Patrick. It's Patrick now, wearing number 25. Tried to send it out in front, and it ends up on a Shepaug stick, and they are able to clear the zone. Here comes Colin McGraw into the offensive end, gets taken down. Referee lets that go, and Shepaug can't clear it out. Now they finally do sneak it around Caldara. And down they come with Jake Matson back there, and Matson deflects the pass to the corner. Good play there from Matson. Jake Matson cycling it around to Brian Merrill. It's BBD having trouble clearing the zone. That's Anton Oleshko going back on the back check. A shot from right point goes through the goal mouth by Shepaug and all the way out into center ice. No score here from the Linen Rink on the campus of the Gunnery in Washington, Connecticut. BBD and the Shepaug Valley Spartans, the home team. These two teams will see each other again for real on Monday night, January the 14th at 8 p.m. Boy, is that going to be a tough Tuesday morning for these players when they have to get up for school the next day. But so it is. Ryan Merrill tries to clear it out and does so. Tom Conlon couldn't pick it up, and so Shepaug plays it back into the BBD zone. Then Matson plays it down the wall. Matson blocks the lead pass. Tyler Caldara tried to slither his way through, and Shepaug broke that up. Now Shepaug, 2-on-2 from the neutral zone, getting back to help out as Conlon, and Brian Merrill forces the play down the wall. Centering pass in front goes just wide of Alex Fernandez. Now back to the point. And that shot goes just beyond the goalie's reach, wide of the net, and the Ice Cats will clear it with Aiden Garvey rushing the puck up the ice. Tom Conlon on his left. Here comes Garvey into the offensive zone. Conlon couldn't do anything with it, and now Shepaug quickly back the other way with Bryce Wallace back there, and was handed a gift by a Shepaug player who couldn't control the puck. Anthony Britton going back for it, and that'll be an icing against the Spartans. So we get a whistle with 6 minutes gone by here in the opening period from the Gunnery. Shepaug and BBD are scoreless. And again, we see this quintet of sophomores as it's Abrams, Britton, and Bowler with Garvey and Wallace. And quite a few of these sophomores who thought they were going to be playing travel in the fall in Danbury wound up without a team when that team just never really materialized. And so they did some clinics, but are really playing themselves into shape during this preseason practice period. That's a disadvantage here for BBD. Here comes Anthony Britton down the left side into the offensive zone. Kyle Bowler shoots it over the top of the net. Spencer Abrams. Bowler tried to get it in front for Britton, and that was broken up, and Shepaug clears the zone. Bryce Wallace going back. Bryce Wallace, who played for the powerhouse Ridgefield Lions youth team that at the bantam level played for the national championship down in Florida a couple of years ago. Here comes Eric Fancher, and his backhander is kicked out by Alex Thornburg. Bryce Wallace gets it back. Eric Fancher and Patrick Fancher in the corner. Patrick tried to tee up a backhand. Shepaug broke that up. And we get a whistle, and there's going to be a holding penalty here against Shepaug. That was pretty obvious. And BBD will get the first special teams advantage of the afternoon, of the evening. Actually, no, I see Patrick Fancher going in the box. So they're going to call this against BBD. Wow, that's a bit of a surprise. And so it will be Shepaug on the man advantage and the face-off in the Ice Cat zone. So Patrick Fancher will sit for 2 with 8:08 to go here in this opening period from the Linen Rink. This is Tommy Schieser killing the penalty. It's Schieser and Eric Fancher with Alex Smith and Jack Rattacci. And the puck cleared down into the Shepaug zone. Again, we cannot tell you who the Shepaug players are, not because we don't know them, but because they're not wearing jerseys. They're not wearing game jerseys. They're wearing their practice jerseys tonight. Now it's Eric Fancher picking it up, and he will brazenly bring it down into Shepaug territory with a shot that goes over the top of the net. Alex Smith comes up to try to hold the line shorthanded and continues the play for BBD. Rattacci got tied up at the blue line, but it's Alex Smith shooting it all the way down. Here's Tommy Schieser in front, stealing it away from a couple of Shepaug players. Now the Shepaug Valley Spartans will look to start up. I mentioned they broke their 59-game losing streak with an overtime win in the season finale against Joel Barlow. They certainly were a heartwarming underdog story here. And that shot kicked out by Fernandez on the power play. They still have 45 seconds left. Kyle Bowler racing after the puck shorthanded, and he gets there and plays it deep. Good penalty kill here so far for BBD. One good shot so far for Shepaug. And here's a steal by Britton. Anthony Britton scored in 3 straight games for BBD last season as a freshman. Ended up with 5 goals overall. Jack Rattacci clears it out with 21 seconds to go on the man advantage, and BBD. Are they called for icing the puck? That doesn't make sense to me because it was shorthanded. They're shorthanded. So I think the faceoff may come out to center ice because the referees messed that up. Well, they were honest about it, and so they'll do the faceoff at center ice. It is preseason for them as well. So it's Oleshko, Matson, Caldara, and Bryce Wallace killing the remaining 10 seconds of the penalty to Patrick Fancher. Here's Bryce Wallace. Tyler Caldara, junior, plays it down. Junior from Bethel High School. And the penalty expires, so one good shot for Shepaug. Matson plays it out of his own end. Caldara tries to slither his way into the Shepaug zone. Tried to stick handle his way in. Here's Conlon on the right side. Plays it towards the middle. It ends up on Oleshko's stick, but it pinballs to the corner. Now Wallace comes up to hold the zone, takes a shot from a Shepaug defenseman with 5:39 left to go here in the period. Here's a steal by Oleshko. Tried to work his way in from the right side. He couldn't really get the shot away. It ends up on Matson's stick. Winds and fires, and that was blocked. Ends up bouncing out in front of Alex Thornburg. Schieser has it and shoots it from the left side. That hit a couple of players. Conlon couldn't pick it up. Here's Tommy Schieser, tried to get it in front of Conlon, ends up on the stick of Wallace, winds and fires it, and it was deflected in front. I think it hit Schieser's glove. A centering pass, Oleshko got hauled down, and Schieser's shot hit Oleshko, but it's still in the zone. Here's Wallace, top of the left circle, shoots it, and Thornburg redirects it to the corner. Oleshko, as BBD is all set up here with a lot of pressure, and finally the puck's cleared out by Shepaug, and Tyler Caldara has to race back, Matson has to race back to get it. Schieser couldn't touch the puck, and so they'll get an icing, and the faceoff will come back down to our left with 4:42 left to go here in the opening period of this preseason Jamboree from the Gunnery in Washington, Connecticut. The Ice Cats will play the New Milford Green Wave in period 2, and then Housatonic in period 3. Face off in the BBD zone with Tommy Schieser handing it back to Colin McGraw. And Eric Fancher just missed the puck as he tried to sneak around the defenseman. Would have had a breakaway had he been able to get through. Now it's Brian Merrill. BBD has an age disparity here, but one thing they have that they didn't really have last year are dedicated defensemen. Alex Smith, Brian Merrill, Bryce Wallace, and Matson are all regular defensemen who have played the position through their youth hockey years and now up here at the high school level, where last year BBD, with the exception of Matson, had all converted forwards playing defense. James McCarthy, Mikey Morlock when he was still here and he left in mid-season, Spencer Abrams, they all were converted forwards. So a lack of high school experience, yes, but they have defensemen this year who regularly have played the position all the way through their youth years. And as these players get more experience here, that could be a big advantage for this BBD team. We have 4 minutes to go here in the period as Spencer Abrams goes forward in his own zone and is able to clear the puck, connects with Anthony Britton through the neutral zone, has Kyle Bowler there with him, but they were in too close and Shepaug was able to break it up. Spencer Abrams goes forward in front of his own bench, knocks it away from the Shepaug player, and Alex Smith was a little tentative getting back there for it, so Shepaug holds the zone, and that shot never materialized as the Shepaug defenseman didn't get good carbon fiber on it. Spencer Abrams coming around for it. Kyle Bowler now. Held in by Shepaug, and then Bowler snuck it away from him. Into Shepaug territory with a shot that Alex Thornburg has in the chest protector and will stop play. Alex Thornburg is one of the 3 or 4 best goaltenders in the state of Connecticut at any division this year. Certainly up against it playing for this Shepaug Spartans team, but I think everybody realizes that this junior is a pretty special talent. Face off in the Shepaug zone with 3:11 to go in the period. Here's Jake Matson trying to hold it in, and he got out-muscled for it. They don't see that too often as Tyler Caldara sneaks it into the zone with Anton Oleshko, and puck comes over and back, and Matson knows he's got to wait for his team to get onside. Here's Oleshko. It slithers through to Conlon, works his way in left side, but he couldn't tee up the backhand. Tyler Caldara couldn't either. It ends up behind the net. Tom Conlon there. Oleshko didn't see it. It ends up on the stick of Jack Bertacci. Bertacci slithers his way through, center point, right side to Conlon, but it hopped off his stick. Bertacci, top of the circle, gets it on net. It sneaks behind Thornburg and in. And a goal for Jack Bertacci. His first as an Ice Cat at the varsity level. And it won't count in the regular season standings, but a big confidence builder there for Jack Bertacci. And BBD has the game's first goal. It comes with 2:19 left to go here in the period. Oh, it's certainly preseason for Alex Thornburg, too. That's not one he's going to let up during the regular year, you have to believe. We have 2 minutes to go here in the period. It's 1-0 BBD. Patrick Fancher going back forward in his own zone. Bounces off the side of the net in front, and that's Abigail Gora, the coach's daughter. We can tell because of the ponytail. Here comes Eric Fancher, and he had his stick broken or knocked out of his hands, and that's going to be a penalty against Shepaug. So BBD will get its first taste of the man advantage here in this preseason Jamboree as Fancher was slashed. Eric Fancher played his youth hockey for the Wonderland Wizards, a perennial powerhouse at the youth level here in the state. Jack Bertacci did as well. Tommy Schieser will take the draw on the power play, which will last the remainder of this period unless BBD scores. Here's Patrick Fancher in the corner. Tried to hit his brother on the left side, and it was cleared out by the Spartans with 90 seconds to go here in this opening period. BBD will play the Green Wave of New Milford in period number 2. And again, Shepaug is able to play it down. Schieser, senior co-captain, stretch pass to Eric Fancher, who winds and fires, and that was blocked. Schieser gets it back in the corner to Eric Fancher. Centered in front to Patrick, and he whiffed on the one-timer. Here's Eric, he played it off Thornburg, and it bounces in front. Eric and Patrick both battling for it, and it ends up behind the net. with 47 seconds to go in the period. This is Patrick Fancher. He and Tommy Delafield last year were the only two double-digit goal scorers for BBD. So Patrick Fancher is going to need to assume a lot of the goal scoring here. And some rough stuff in front of the Shepaug bench, and there'll be a penalty coming here, I believe, to Eric Fancher. And so for the last 24 and 5/10 seconds of this period, the teams will skate 4-on-4. So the face-off will come down into the BBD zone with just 24 and a half seconds left to go here. Again, none of this counts in the regular season standings, but it gives these teams a chance to, as they say, hit somebody else. Because all they've been doing for 2 weeks in practice is scrimmaging and such. So it's good to just get out there and hit somebody else. There's a huge save there for Alex Fernandez off the draw. And now it's Justin Sarrazin overskating the puck. And now Shepaug with 14 seconds left with a shot that Fernandez sticks aside. Shepaug with some open ice here to work with. Garvey goes down to block the shot. Here's a centering pass in front. Fernandez closes the door as the period comes to an end. 3 big saves at the end there for Alex Fernandez. And so BBD comes away with a 1-0 decision here after this first period.